lovelies, it's Sarcasm the Sickness, and welcome back for another episode of Skill Link. In today's episode, I am showcasing a piece that I'm extremely excited about. This is one that, oh my god, I'm so pumped about this, honestly. I am so excited about this piece. This was commissioned by Pokienzo TV, and again, Pokienzo, I do want to say thank you so much for commissioning this from me. He saw recently, if you guys weren't at okay, a couple days ago, I did a live stream where I was just kind of working on some stuff, and Kuro Ryushin, who's another artist, commissioned me to draw her bricks and character, in whatever style, like however I wanted to do it, and so I decided to do it in my lineless style, which is essentially what I'm working towards, and I actually was really pleased with the results. I was so excited about the way it turned out, and so I posted on Twitter, and Pokienzo TV saw that and said, I need to commission you in this style, and I was like, oh my god, yes, because this is exactly what I want. I want to get really good in this, I want to get good in this style, and I want people to commission me more so for this than for the line style. But I mean, it's one of those things where I understand that, that the hard outline is probably better for a lot of things that a lot of to work better with other designs and stuff. But anyway, he commissioned me to draw a Mega Autono with angel wings, kind of like, you know, like Mega Absol has. Yeah, so he commissioned me to draw an Autono with angel wings, and I am so excited about the way this turned out. Thank you so much for commissioning this for me, and thank you so much for you were just so pleasant. You were honestly so pleasant, and you were a pleasure to work with. So, as per usual, his links will be in the description below. Yeah, you should definitely go check him out. He is a PokeTuber, as most of the people who commission me to draw Pokemon things are. And, at the moment, he is working on a Pokemon White Ultimate Randomizer Nuzlocke. He's actually pretty far in it, I believe. He does Oris Wi-Fi battles, including Little Cup, which is really cool. I feel like more people should do Little Cup. I might look into Little Cup, to be honest. It looks really fun. It's so cute. Little baby's so cute. So yes. He does Wi-Fi battles, including Little Cup battles, and he's taking part in a Pokemon Light Platinum 7-player save swappers, which is insane. It's like, it's different from a tag lock in the fact that, like a tag lock, you usually, you get to a certain checkpoint and then move on to the next one. It looks like the save swappers is kind of just like a regular save swappers where they play for a certain amount of time, get to a place, save, swap it to the next person, except this includes 7 people instead of like a usual save swappers, which is like 2 people for the most part. I don't think I've seen any save swappers that was more than 2 people. So that's pretty crazy. That's really cool. Like I said, links will be in the description. Go check them out. And oh, you have to see the banner. At least go click on the channel link to go check out what he did with the art for the banner and icon. I actually think it's really cute. I like it a lot. So yeah, and then with that, after 3 minutes, we are gonna move on to the topic for today. And again, this is something that I'm extremely excited about because this is gonna be happening basically probably as you're watching this. I will either, yeah. I mean, if you're watching it today in the afternoon, I'll probably be MIA from my computer because I am getting a kitten. I am so freaking excited. I can't even describe how excited I am about this. I'm giddy, honestly. I'm so I guess today's topic is pets, and I guess how important our furry little companions are to us. Or maybe not even furry, because I'm not excluding people who love snakes and fish and hairless things or whatever, you know. Honestly, I have always been an animal lover. I've always been an animal lover. And for those of you who don't like animals very much, hey, I don't blame you. It's not for everybody, and granted, there are actually animals that I'm not particularly fond of, dogs being one of them, and, you know, it's one of those things where, like people, yeah, there are, I feel like there's a lot more dog people than there are cat people, but I'm not really sure, I don't know. Every time I say, I like cats, people are like, oh my god, you're one of those, and I'm like, frickin', I don't care. If you want to get licked all over your face, go ahead, be my guest. I'm not stopping you. Shoot, man. But, yeah. So I like most animals, I really do. But, dogs I'm not particularly fond of. I can like a dog, I'm just not particularly fond of them, just off the basis that they are a dog. But yeah, so pets have always been important to me. I was born a cat owner. Like, literally, when I was born, my parents had already had a cat, so hence I kind of, you know, owned a cat at that point. I was, you know, the human, I was just another human addition to that house. And so I've always had a cat, and I've pretty much always had a cat in my life. There was only like one period of time where I didn't. And that first cat, he was special. I feel so bad for him, because it's, you know, it's one of those things, like, your first cat, your first pet in general is always going to be special, you know? Like, it's like this is the one that's been here the longest, this is the one that, you know, was there since the beginning, and that's so important. But this cat was literally there from my beginning. He was already like a year or two old, he was already a little older. So yeah, my first cat was literally older than me. Yeah, he was a trooper, because I was a little girl. I was a baby, and then I grew up to be a little girl, and I grew up to be a little girl that liked to put the cat in costumes and carry him around the house, and he was a big fat cat, so it wasn't exactly easy for me to carry him around. So now just imagine, like, this 5-year-old girl, you know, holding this cat, which is probably dressed in doll's clothing, like it's like I remember we had like I had a frilly dress for a doll that this cat is now wearing, and I'm like dragging him around the house. Not dragging, but, you know, like trying to lift him up, and you know how little kids carry heavy things, and it's like they're trying to hold the puppy or the cat, and it's like right underneath the elbows, and the cat's face is just like, oh God, help me, please. That's what he went through, that poor beast. He was such a trooper. He only scratched me once when I didn't really deserve it. And it was when I was really young, so I don't even remember it. My dad said it happened, though, and he said that he made sure the cat would never do that again. Granted, the cat wasn't hurt, necessarily, but he definitely didn't scratch me again unless I really deserved it. So, yeah. I just feel so bad for that cat. He put up with so much because he had no choice. He just couldn't, poor baby. And, eventually, it got to a point where, he was really old, and he didn't really... Oh, I didn't even tell you his name. His name was Spotsy, by the way. His name was Spotsy. And, he was an all-white cat. He was just a snow-white cat. He had no spots on him. And, I guess as a kid, I never really thought about that. I don't know, it was just, his name was Spotsy, and I accepted that, you know? But then eventually I was like, why is he called Spotsy? He has no spots. Turns out, when he was little, when he was a kitten, when my dad got him, he had 3 black spots on his forehead. And I guess as he grew, for whatever reason, the white fur grew out, and the black fur didn't. And so eventually, Spotsy was a spotless cat. And again, I wasn't there to see it, so I'm not entirely sure how much I believe that. I think that actually happened. That's hilarious. I love it. So yeah, Spotsy was the spotless cat. He was a pure white cat. And he was a pleasure. He was such a treat. But yes, eventually he got old, as animals do, as everyone does. And one day he just wasn't there anymore. And what my parents told me is that he ran away. And it makes me wonder, maybe he didn't run away. They did tell me, or my neighbor told me, who was also really she was an animal lover in general. She had cats and dogs, and she loved them all. And that's fine, you know, and I appreciated that. I appreciated her for that. And she was really she was so into animals that she did so much research about them and stuff. So when we were looking for Spotsy after he ran away, she did tell us, like, sometimes cats just like to be alone when they die. And I guess I took that at face value. And to this day, I don't really know if he actually ran away or if my parents found him dead. And so yeah, I'm still fuzzy on the details. I never really asked them, I guess, if they had lied to me to protect me. And it's one of those things where it doesn't really matter to me now. because he was gonna have to die anyway, and, you know, I guess sparing me the trauma as a child of hearing, like, by the way, your cat is dead, I guess it's fine. It's, you know, it's one of those things, and I don't know, it just happens. Death happens, and I accept that now, and maybe it would have been harder for me as a kid, and I don't know. If they did lie to me about it, I don't blame them by any means, and that's fine. It's fine. But yeah, then I guess the next pet, for a while then we didn't have any pets, and it felt weird, you know, because I'd literally grown up with pets my entire life, and then all of a sudden we just didn't have any because Spotsy was gone, and I don't know, I guess I feel like my parents weren't really ready to let a new cat or any kind of pet into their life, and I don't know, again, I don't really blame them, but then it got to a point where my grandmother called us at one point, or my grandmother used to come over a lot, so we were kept up to date on all of her happenings and stuff, and at one point she had found a cat, and she already had a cat who was kind of a jerk, honestly. He was a really kind of aggressive cat, so the fact that she had found this other one was kind of not good for her. But again, she was a cat lover, and she couldn't just leave this poor kitten that she had found. It was an older kitten, like, I don't know, like not young enough to, or not old enough to be like a full-fledged female cat, I guess. Like, she wasn't, you know, she wasn't like of breeding age, so she was still considered pretty young. Hadn't fully developed yet, like in any area. She wasn't exactly big yet. Yeah, she was just basically an older kitten. And yeah, my grandmother couldn't just like leave her out there, and so she took this cat in, and I have another video where I talked about all of my cats. Actually, it's actually one of the more popular skill links from towards the beginning, I guess, of my YouTube career. If you want to look for it, I can try to link it below, or you can just look for the one that has you can just look for the one where I believe it's the one that I drew some fan art for the Hoodlum Scrafty. So yeah, you may. It's not actually a skill link. That's right. It's not considered a skill link. It's considered just a speed drawing. So yeah, you'll have to do some digging if you want to find it. But yeah, she found this cat under her car after she got out of work, and she took the cat in, and my mom and us eventually went down to go see her and see our cousins who were there, and of course we went and saw the cat. Me and my middle sister went downstairs and found the cat down there in the basement. Sorry, and we just immediately fell in love with her. She was so sweet. She was so gentle. She was so freaking beautiful, and we were like, Mom, you have to come see the cat. She's like, no, I'm not gonna go look at the cat, because she knew what was gonna happen. She knew as soon as she saw that cat, she was gonna fall in love with it, and she would have to take it home. And we're like, no, Mom, you just have to see her. She's so cute. And she was just like, no, I'm not going. And eventually we wore her down. And I think it was good for her, honestly. I think it was good for her to be able to go down there and see this cat and realize that she could love another cat, you know? And not only was she ready for a cat, but we were ready as a family to have another cat, I guess. And so we went down there and showed her the cat. And, you know, as predicted, she saw the cat and loved it, and we just couldn't leave without the cat, I guess. And, you know, it took a little bit of prep work to get everything together, but we eventually adopted that cat, and we named her Lucky, because she was lucky that she got found by somebody who was a cat lover, because she could have easily been found by somebody who didn't care about cats or just didn't like animals at all, you know? She could have found somebody who didn't want to keep her or didn't want to help her. So she was a lucky cat. And then the next cat we got was his name is Chance, and that's what I named all my cats after, or at least all the cats at the house there. I'm responsible for the names of all my cats, basically. I'm responsible for the names of all the cats, and it's Lucky, Chance, and Hope. Okay, in case you're wondering. And there is another cat, actually, whose name is Karma, and I'm thinking he's a he. He's not actually our cat. He's a stray cat that lives around the area, that sometimes comes up to the deck in the backyard and messes around with Chance. we believe that they are from the same litter because they're the same, they're like the same, like fluffy gray coat with the same consistency and everything. And they're both, they were like, Chance came from outdoors. As actually all of our cats came from outdoors. All 3 cats that we have at the moment, or my parents have, I guess, at the moment, came from outdoors. So yeah, it wasn't hard to put together the pieces and just say, like, yes, they're probably from the same litter. Especially since, like, they interact weirdly, I guess. Like, Chance doesn't want him around, but he doesn't seem to, like, want to harm him too much. It's interesting. It's weird. It's a weird relationship they've got going on. But yeah, so I've named all of my cats like that. But, and cats are really important to me because they've always been in my life. Apparently, at one point I owned a dog, but, I don't remember that. I don't remember the dog at all. I guess it was when I was, like, really young. It was before my middle sister was born, and honestly, I really don't remember much beyond... yeah, I don't really remember anything before my middle sister was born. It's just, I don't know, it's just, like... It was just, I guess I was just too young at that point to really start forming, like, lasting memories. But yeah, so cats have always been important to me. But at some points in my life, I've owned other animals. Like I owned some fish at one point when I was still at home, and I was still, you know, going to school at home and everything. When I was a little girl, I guess. And I actually really enjoyed the fish. Funny story about the fish, I guess. We got the first day we got some fish, and at that point, I was really into the Harry Potter novels. I still love them, oh my gosh. Don't get me wrong, it's not like I ever stopped being into them, but I was in the middle of reading them, I guess, is what I mean. And so the fish that I got, I named them after Harry Potter characters, and that was, oh my god. And my favorite, I named it Harry, and the very next day after we got Harry, he died. He died in the tank, and Harry Potter died, and I was so freaking devastated. I mean, it was a blasted fish. It wasn't even like, it's not like their lifespan is that major anyway, but I was heartbroken that Harry Potter had died, and I couldn't deal with it. I honestly cried over that fish, and I didn't even get to know it. It was really pathetic, but it just, I guess it goes to show that either animals are really important to me always, or Harry Potter was always important to me. I don't really know. But it was probably a mixture of the two, to be honest. And the other time I owned a fish, I guess, after that was when I went to college, because I couldn't have any other kinds of pets in the dorm, of course. So it was like, well, I can have a fish. So I went to Walmart, and I got, you know, a tank, and I got a betta fish. And I actually named this fish Gyarados, so, you know, you can go and fangirl about that now. But, yeah, so I named him Gyarados because he was this beautiful blue color, but then the tips of his fins were red. So I was like, oh my gosh, he's like regular Gyarados colors and shiny Gyarados colors? Oh yeah. So he was gorgeous. I loved him to death. And he brought a lot of peace to me, I guess. He made me feel a lot more at home, even though I was away. And so even when I dropped out of college, I took the fish with me. And yeah, so I took the fish with me, and at that point I had moved in with the boyfriend I had at the time, and I kept the fish, and I eventually got another fish of a Chinese, yes, it was a Chinese suckerfish. And so the suckerfish would help clean the tank and stuff, and usually a betta fish wouldn't be, yeah, betta fish aren't exactly friendly with other fish at all, by any means. And so for a while, when we first got the other fish, he would chase it around the tank, and he would nibble at it and everything. But eventually, he kind of found that the suckerfish, his skin was a little bit too rough, so it didn't really feel good, I guess, for him to bite at it, and eventually just kind of got used to it and stopped being so aggressive towards it. He would still chase it around sometimes, but ordinarily he wouldn't actually, like, attack it. And then beyond that, oh yeah, then I guess when that boyfriend broke up with me, inevitably, I was like, okay, you know, I'm gonna take the fish home. And my mom said, no, don't do that. I'm like, wait, why? She's like, it's just gonna remind you of him. And And I kept like fighting it, like, no, this is my fish, like I want to take them home, you know, these are my fish. And she was just like, no, look, it's gonna hurt you every time you see them. And honestly, I don't know if that was the right call or not. Because this was a fish that I had from before, you know, I don't know. I guess the biggest reason it breaks my heart is because he stopped taking care of the fish. When I left, he didn't take care of it, and it died of starvation. He literally let my fish starve. And that honestly really hurts me inside. I did not want that for that fish, and I could have taken it home and I could have taken care of it, and it didn't deserve that. It didn't deserve to deal with that just because mommy and daddy broke up, you know? But I don't know. I guess fish die and it happens and it sucks, but whatever. Then, you know, of course I came home and I had my cats again, so there was that. But then when I moved out again with another boyfriend, we again didn't have any pets and I wanted pets. And so the other pet that I've had, besides cats and fish and the dog that I don't remember, was a bearded dragon. And I loved her to death. We had 2 bearded dragons. He had a male, I had a female. And they were just the most beautiful creatures. Yeah, one of them was named Kazuhira, which I think means peace in Japanese. And then the other one, mine, she was named Misaye, which means beautiful. It's beautiful sand, I believe, because she was this sandy color, but she had like these red tints on her. She was wonderful, and I really could show you pictures. I have so many pictures of her. She was just freaking wonderful, and she had such a quirky personality. I adored her, but when he broke up with me, my mom said that she didn't want the lizard in the house. She couldn't deal with having the lizard in the house. And so, again, I lost my pet to an ex-boyfriend, which, again, broke my heart. And I guess since then, you know, since I guess the time has come again that, I'm living with a boyfriend and I need to have a pet in my life. And he's graciously letting me get a cat because we could have gotten, at this point it really was that we were either going to get a dog or we were going to get a cat. But Pedro understands how important it is for me to have a cat in my life. Because honestly, having a cat centers me, I feel. Like, they literally do bring me so much just peace and just, I don't know. There's just something about them that makes me feel so much better. It really does bring me to like a center, and I am so excited to be able to get this kitten. We're gonna be leaving soon actually to go get her, or him, sorry. I'll tell you what his name is when I figure it out, because I'm gonna have to come up with a new naming system, I guess, because, you know, my other cats were all named after, I guess, like kind of like those invisible forces in life, you know, luck, chance, hope, and karma. So I don't know if I'll continue along that trend, because I honestly am not sure what the next one would be. Because luck, hope, chance, and karma are kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of like a complete circle there. But, yeah, so I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna call him. I have to figure out a new naming system, and honestly, I think I took that after my grandmother, because she named all of her cats after Winnie the Pooh characters. So, I feel like I do want to have a naming system. I don't know why that, I don't know, it makes me happy, I guess, and then I guess that's what's important. So, I'm gonna go get ready so I can go get this cat. I'm so pumped about this. Thank you guys so much for watching. In the comment section below, tell me about any pets that you have or have had. Or if you don't have any pets, just tell me what your favorite animal is, and we can talk about that a little bit. If you like this video, please leave a like, because I appreciate that. Almost as much as I appreciate cats. It's up there. If you are watching for the first time, this is the first time you're at my channel, if this is the first time you're watching Skill Link, because I know I just got a recent boost in subscribers, you should check out some other Skill Links. I draw Pokemon all the time, and I talk about stuff all the time, so we could talk about stuff and draw Pokemon, and yay. And subscribe if you are not subscribed, And if you are, please stay, because I love you. Thank you. Bye. And yeah, okay. I gotta get going, guys. I gotta get ready. So, bye.